H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
Diagram. Okay. So here in this case, you have your JDBC driver manager. Here also you have your JDBC driver manager, and which layer we are basically removing it. If you see here, we do not have this JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Okay. Now here in this case, we are having some native API driver. So when you talk about native API driver, this native API drivers are a bit more faster when you use your JDBC ODBC bridge drivers. Okay. And the third type of drivers, the third type of driver, it's a three-tier approach. So when you talk about a three-tier approach, you basically have the particular driver somewhere installed in your, or somewhere running in your, in your server. Okay. So when we talk about server, it is any kind of application server. So when you talk about application server, we have WebLogic, we have got WebSphere, and we have got JBoss. So there are a lot of different application servers in the market. We'll see what is an application server also. Even though you do not understand, it's okay, not a problem. Okay. Now here in this case, basically you make a Java API, calling Java application. You have got a JDBC APIs. Every time you'll be using JDBC API, and you have got a JDBC driver manager also. Okay. So here you'll be having some kind of network protocol driver, wherein with the help of your JDBC from your application, you will just have a connectivity to the particular server. From the server, you have different databases. So what all databases you want, every connection you are supposed to have it using some layer out here. Okay. So here you have got your application server. From the application server, you can hit different databases. Now, even in your application, you still have an option that you can hit Oracle database. You want to hit MySQL database. You want to hit DB2 database. So those things you can very well do it from using your type 3 approach. Okay. Now this is what we are going to see in this entire session in a type 4 driver, a pure Java based driver that communicates directly with the vendor's database through some socket connection. Okay, this is the highest performance driver available for the database and is usually provided by the vendor itself. All right. This kind of driver is extremely flexible. You don't need to install specific software on the client or the server. Okay, so further these drivers can be downloaded dynamically. So here if you can see, you have got the Java APIs, and then you have got your native protocol drivers, and those drivers you will be using it in order to talk to the database. Okay, so this particular driver will be given by each and every vendors again. Okay, so when I talk about vendors, yeah, there is a question, what is a vendor? MySQL, it was initially not from Oracle. Now when I talk about DB2 is being given by your IBM folks. Okay. And then when I talk about your Oracle database is given by the Oracle folks itself. Okay, so when I talk about vendor, if Oracle is developing its own database, so they are the vendor. Okay, so when I say vendor specific drivers, that means Oracle specific drivers. When I talk about DB2 drivers, I need to talk about a DB2. I mean, who should give you a driver? IBM folks has to give you some APIs which can basically talk to their own system. Okay. Okay, now it is very simple, right? I mean, when there is any kind of international meet within the community, within the whole world, if suppose you do not have a person who's coming from Uganda, he doesn't know English or he doesn't know Hindi properly, right? So I need some kind of communicator who can communicate to that particular person. So the communicator, he should basically understand both the things, right? So it's the responsibility of the communicator to talk to the database or talk to the specific person who basically talks something. Okay, so here whenever I talk about any kind of database, I need to have their database specific drivers. Okay. So which driver you should be using basically if you are accessing one type of database such as Oracle, Sybase or IBM, the preferred driver is your type 4 driver. Okay. If your Java application is accessing multiple type of databases, as I said, if you see your type 3, this could be different databases. Okay, so always try to prefer using your type 3 drivers. Type 2 drivers are useful in situation where a type 3 or a type 4 driver is not available yet for your database. So it was initially there, but these days you have all your type 4 drivers always. Okay. Now the type 1 driver is not considered a deployment level driver and is typically used for development and testing purpose only. Okay, it is very much local to your machine, even though these days no one uses this also. Okay. Now again, if you want to use your type 1 driver, if you have your MS Access, if you know that, in your MS Access also you can create your own database. Okay, if you want to access your MS Access using some kind of query, you can still use your type 1 drivers. Okay. All right, so let's talk about what are steps you can basically take in order to have a database connections. Okay. Now, even before that, I believe I won't be able to cover up all the things in the span of 15 minutes right now. So even before that, let me do one thing. Let me give some miscellaneous stuff to you right now, so that we will be using that particular miscellaneous stuff in your next programs. Okay. So I'm just stopping out here, and I'm not talking anything about your database right now. Okay. So till now we have only spoken about the concepts of your database. Okay. So just remember, we have got 4 kind of drivers, and we can use any kind of drivers depending on the flexibility of our system. Okay. Now, all right. Now, what I was supposed to say you here is, in the entire course right now, when we spoke about the entire core Java courses, we always used your system.out.println. Okay, guys, your database connectivity, the session has been closed. Okay, so I'm talking something else now. The reason, because I do not have much time right now. It will take at least more half an hour to explain you things. All right. Till now we were basically talking about the SOPs. Always we were using SOPs. Okay. Now let me go to the actual program. Let me even delete this. Okay. So here in this case, basically, whenever you want to do some SOPs or want to print something, you no, not even. This is not a good example. Sorry folks, sometimes I get run out of examples from my mind. All right. So here, this is a calculation class. In the calculation class, you know that you are basically saying add value. Okay. Now let's say where is that add value? Okay, calculate, and then from here say add value, right? So you pass on some values out here so that you can add it. Now this add value, if you see, I think it has got a return type. Yes. So this return type, whenever so your main objective is call this method, and let's say int value equals to so and so, and your main objective is from wherever you call, you just capture this value and you want to do some other manipulation with that. Okay, so you say int final value equals to the value plus 10. Okay, so you just say sysout. So basically, you don't know you want to do some sysout. Yes, you can do it. So you just say final value equals to final value. Okay, What happens is you do not know. I mean, you are giving the value 12 and 12. You are not at all getting the value as 24 here, right? Something is wrong out here. So what you do is you very well go here to this API. This is a very small API. Usually when you talk about APIs, there will be a lot of other function calls, lot of other functionalities, a lot more. Okay, it's not a single line of code basically. Okay, you might be having around 200 or 300 lines of code, or maybe less or more than that. Okay, so in order to debug your program, what you do is you just say system.out.println in real time. Okay, so you say a equals to a, right? So you are only concerned about a, whether the value of a is getting passed properly or not. Okay, so you do this. I mean, you no doubt you do right click, run as Java application, you run this program, and you see that the a equals to 12 here. So I'm good right now, but sometimes it is not proper. So for that reason, I added a SOP out here, so that even before coming to returning my actual value, I'm just printing that value out here so that I can see, and I can make sure that everything is fine. Okay, but usually what happens in real production, whenever you deploy this particular complete application, if I want to deploy this application in the real server, I do not want this print, right? I do not want this SOP, because remember one thing, whenever you use a system.out.println, it is a costly operation, because when you say system.out, it is going to basically open up a connection, okay, to the console, and then it is going to print something. Okay, so using that basically will have some performance hit. Okay, so what you do is you down the line you go and comment it, right? So before even deploying your application to the production environment, you go and comment it, right? So right now run as Java application, you're good here, you're not even getting this. Okay, sometime during a development time, again you are invoking this, or again you are enabling this. So right click, run as Java application. So how many times, I mean, before even deploying, let's say there is one more functionality, a equals to 10, right? So this is a genuine functionality. You're saying a equals to a plus 10. This is genuine functionality. Somehow while commenting this, you even commented this out and you deployed that in the production. Okay, you are gone. I mean, the complete logic is out of order. I mean, you do not know what's wrong. Now again, what you do, you see, okay, there's an issue, you again rebuild your entire code. Okay, so usually whenever you do any changes, you basically rebuild the entire code. Okay, and then you make it as a jar, and then you again dump it to a server or to the production environment. Okay, so it's a tedious job, because doing a silly mistake out here, it screwed up my whole production, and I again took a complete day in order to do this complete functionality. Okay, so this is not happening for me. So this is also not happening for me. So in that case, what are we going to do is we are going to use some kind of logger framework. With the help of that, what we are going to do is we are going to use that logger framework in order to log the application. Okay, so here in this case, if you see the JDBC program, okay, we'll be using some kind of classes here. That is your logger class here, and from the logger class we'll be saying something here like logger.getLogger, and ultimately what we are going to do is we are just going to use this particular logger, okay, to print the output to the console or to the file system. Okay, so this is nothing but a logger framework, which again I'm going to execute sometime by tomorrow probably. Okay, and I will show you what all things we can do it using your loggers. Okay, I think we still have time. Hang on. Yeah, I think we can just cover up within this 10 minutes of time. So what am I going to do here is, let me just take a small example out here. So right click, new class, logger, example, finish. Okay. Now just see what all things I need in order to work on this particular logger functionality. The very first thing is I need to have this. Okay, so let me copy this and push it out here. Okay, and instead of having my JDBC program, I just need to have logger example out here. Okay. Now the next is the second thing is I need some classes which is related to your logger out here, and in this entire application I do not have anything which I can use it. Okay, I'm not going to use all these logging things. I'll be using a third-party jar file, that is your log4j. Okay, so log4j, you can very well do one thing. You can just go to your internet and just say log4j jar maven. So just type in maven here, and you can basically get this log4j somewhere. You can just download this. Okay, so just download this, keep it, show in folder. So copy this. I just copied it from XYZ location and come to your this place. So let me for the time being, let me create a new folder here. So I just created a folder saying the library. Okay, so I'm just going to dump this the jar file which I downloaded. So I have got log4j 1.2.15.jar file in my machine right now. Okay, now in order to make sure that this particular logger is in the class path, I have already added this jar file in my module. I have to set it in the class path. So in order to make sure that it is compilation free, right click here to the module on which you are running your program and go to the properties and go to Java build path. In your Java build path, go to the go to the libraries and say add jars. Okay, so add jars, if it is somewhere in your C drive or D drive, you can even say add external jars. So I have already copied this library in your in this particular module itself. So I'm just saying add jars, just expand all this thing and just click on this and just say okay, and just say okay. All right, now if you see, I just say Control Shift O. Now I have basically imported that particular logger. Okay, now if I open this, Control Shift T, I can see where this is present. It is somewhere present in my log4j 1.2.15.jar file. Okay, now whenever you want to open a type of a class, you can say Control Shift T. Okay, Control Shift R will not work here. Okay, if I say logger will not work here. Okay, in order to make sure to search a particular type, you just say Control Shift T and search this. Okay, so if I choose this, you can see in which particular jar file it is present out here. Okay, so this is just a trick here. Now I'm happy here. Now apart from this, I need one more XML file or a property file. So we'll talk about an XML file here. Let me just copy and paste it. You can even get it from the internet also, but I will just copy and paste it from an existing location. Okay, so paste it out here. So the XML is nothing but your log4j.xml file. Right, now if you see here, there are a couple of let me remove this. Okay, so there are a couple of elements out here. This is kind of a pattern which you want to print it. I'll just show you right away. And let me first put this as a console and a log also. Okay, so let me just use this. I just say log dot debug. I just give some message. Hello logger, right? So instead of SOPs, I'm just going to use a logger here. And if you see here, logger is it is already establishing a connection, and you don't have to every time open and close a connection here. Okay, so this is moreover, it is a static. Okay, so whenever it is a static, it is accessible by each and every class. You just create this particular object only one time. Okay, so if you see, once I run this application, right click, run as Java application, cancel.
Avast virus database has been updated.
Okay, so right click, run as Java application. Okay, you got something like hello logger. That's what I printed, but apart from that, I've got some pattern out here. Okay, what is that pattern? The same pattern, you see it out here. Okay, so I say a console. So when I talk about console here, there are different appenders. Okay, we'll see it one by one as well. In the all advanced courses also, we'll be using the log4j properties itself. Now when I talk about console here, you say console appender. This is the class which is again in your log4j itself. Now you give this pattern out here. Okay, so this is the date and this is your timestamp, and then this you are saying, if you see something like your this is your main. Okay, and there are different patterns out here. Okay, so you say what what type it is over here, whether it's a debug type or what kind of type out here. Okay, and then what is the class, what is the I think this is the method here. Yeah. Okay, so these informations you can basically put that in the pattern also. Okay, so if you still want to learn something about it, you can very well go and learn the patterns also. Okay, now here there are two things. One is your file appender, one is your console appender. Now I have run this program and even I should have a log file also. Now what is the log file here? The log file will be created somewhere in your logs JDBC issue. So let me just refresh this. Okay, now if when I refresh this, you see one log folder got created and something like log issue, sorry, JDBC issue.log file got created out here. And in that, the one which I actually printed in the console, the same thing is being appended to a log file also. Okay, now if I run the same application again, logger example. So if I say here, hello logger again, right click, run as Java application. Now, no doubt when you ran this application, it printed again hello logger again, but the previous hello logger was gone, right? So if you see this pattern out here, right? Let us go back to the logger file here, the output file on which we have told what? Your log file, that is your appender. Okay, in which particular file you want to append the logs which you are generating newly. Okay, again the same file out here. Okay, so the param file name is so and so. So let us go here, refresh this, open this. Now you see the previous logs, you see that at what timestamp that particular log has been printed, and even you see the latest timestamps also. Okay, now if you see here, this is where is that? Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, so if you see here, even the previous logs as well as the new logs has been printed. Now when you use a file appender, if I keep it as it is now, and if I run the same application tomorrow, okay, what is going to happen is it is going to create a new log file for me. Even it is not going to touch this file, it is going to create a new log file, it is going to keep the old log file as it is. Okay, now what are the other advantages? Now as I said, when I talk about your logger example, here today I am just logging this this stuff only for my debugging. Okay, because as I said in a previous example, I just wanted to give an SOP out there and just need to say that, okay, I just want to print this, but in my production I want to comment that out. Okay, so here I just say log dot info. Okay, so I just say this is just for information. Okay, now whenever you say debug, that means you use this debug using only for your development time. Okay, now you want info. Info is very important because in your application, whenever you are running some application, you want to give some information to be put that in the console or in the log file. Okay, so if I run this application, right click, run as Java application, it will give you what level it is. Okay, what type, whether it is an info, whether it is a debug, or whether it is a different kind of loggers also. Okay, logger levels. Now if you just go back to your log file, you see this info got printed out here. Okay, now down the line, some point I do not want this debug point whenever I'm deploying this application in the production. Okay, now what am I going to do is, instead of having a debug, I just say info. I'm not touching any of my application, I'm not commenting out anything, or I'm not doing anything. Okay, now let us see what is going to happen. Right click, run as Java application. Only your info level logs are getting printed. Even in the console also, in your logger file also, okay, you see only your info level is getting printed. There is no trace of your debug here. Okay, now if you enable your debug level, see, if you enable your info level, your debug level is not getting printed. But if you enable your debug level and run the same application, right click, run as Java application, both your debug as well as info is getting printed. Okay, so when you have your debug has got higher precedence. So when you have debug, all the logger level under debug will get printed. Now if you see the levels out here, this is in sequence. When you have debug defined, Under debug you have got info. So anywhere you have something like info, this will be printed. Usually whenever you talk about catch block, okay, you say something like logger dot error. Okay, so whenever you see in your catch block, you will always say something like logger dot error. This is error. So error, whenever any of the level, if you see here, in case I have got my info level or debug level enabled, in that case my error or fatal or warning, anything will be printed. Okay, so on the top, if you just want to trace something, you just say trace, so everything will be enabled. Okay, the least is your this one, so this will be always enabled if you enable any of these levels. Okay, so these things we are going to use it in our application, and it is very important concept, because from now on just keep thinking about this, that there is a logger framework. With the help of the logger framework, you basically log your information either to the console or either to your output file. Now this output file, you just keep this, so that down the line, if you want to debug your application, you can very well go and debug your application, or you want to see what all things has been printed in your logs, you can very well go and see that. Okay, so this is only just for information. I mean this log file. So this log file, you can keep it, you can still keep all the trace of log file. Today what log has been generated, tomorrow what log has been generated, right? So when you talk about banking application or any kind of application, all the application will be having its own logger files. Okay, so we're going to leave the session out here. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the JDBC programs and see how to write the program and how to execute the programs. Okay.
Jairam,
Yes.
does it print the line number?
It does not print the line number.
Okay.
No, it does not print the line number.
I see.
Okay. All right, folks. If there are no questions, then
Jairam, can we
go ahead.
hey Jairam, can we move it to the log files to some drive, and what changes do we need to do in the log4j to take the log files to the C drive or D drive?
You can basically specify the complete path out here. So this is the path in which you can specify it. Okay, there might be some other parameters also which I haven't explored much. But as you see, if I say, I think I've done this, but again, let me just show you that. Okay, I have my D drive out here, so I just want to specify the D drive. In D drive somewhere, okay, I just specify the D out here. So D colon. Okay, so let us see. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, let me go back to the D drive and refresh this. Yeah, you got this out here. Okay, so you can specify any drive. So this is your relative path. If you specify a relative path, on which particular program you project you're running, on that particular stuff you can generate the same thing. Okay, but in your real time, yes, you specify the complete server information on where you want to specify your your particular complete path wherein you want to put this output. Okay, did that clear a question?
Jairam, I have a question.
Yeah.
In real time, like which method we use, the logger or debug or the log.info?
We use info. Okay, you will be having a lot of debuggers. I mean, you will be having in a lot of places, because during development time what you do is you have debuggers here, there, because it's your development environment, right? So you keep on putting all debug levels. Okay, but you don't want to print all this debug level. Let's say, for example, I've got a for loop out here. So for you've got some collections, you got it from the database, and you're basically saying for int I equals to 0, I less than let's say 10, so less than 50. Okay, and I plus plus. Okay, so we are getting all these informations, right? Now you will what you do is, in order to get this information of each and every element from the collection, you will just say log.debug. This is only for your debugging purpose, but this is not at all important for me whenever I really deploy this application to my production servers. Okay, this is only for my own sake. only for the development sake. I don't want to enable this particular logger which is already there in the for loop, because if I enable this, unnecessarily I'm going to print a lot of junk data to the logger. Okay, so I don't even do that. So always you use your info level logs, and if you see your build team or your configuration guy, they will be always having your info level itself. Okay, but again, let's say in your production system you are into real trouble and some of your applications are not working, and what you do is you basically go and request to the configuration team that please enable my debug level log so that I can debug my application for at least 1 hour or 2, and then you can again switch it back to your info level. Okay, so that option is also present here. But when you use your system.out.println, you cannot do those things as well. Okay. There was a question, or where will that be available? What does that mean, Pratima? I'll send you that PPT. I'll send it to the admin folks. They will send it back to you. Okay. All right, folks. I'm going to check in this file, and you guys can check out. Probably it is not going to be under your core Java. It will be. I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay. So I'll give all these informations tomorrow. All right, folks. So if there are no questions, then we can just wind up and talk tomorrow.
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.